Hi, Amanda. I'm going to give you some feedback. I remember you in the 7:30 class. So let's take a look. You've completed your rough draft of Module 1, and you'll need some assessment components, and you want feedback before Module 2. Your issue is the scope was overwhelming. Module 1 took a significant amount and you're not finished with it yet, and want to create something complete and usable, not half finished for myself and other educators. I have some comments about that. You do need to figure out your scope. I think, and this is that you may be only able to finish 2 modules. And I'll just take a look at how you've designed things because I was looking at your modules. It's quite good, but I don't want you up nights spending only this obviously had a scope creep that you weren't anticipating. So does integrating module for content make sense? Otherwise, other suggestions for realistic completion. Um, Passionate about AI education, more equitable. Okay. Planning to cover. Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at what you have and what makes sense. So that's not yours. That's yours. Prototype. Let's take a look. So you're this very good looking thing here, and you're doing it as a course. I'm wondering if you could do it as a series of modules. Because I've looked at one, I quite like it. I think there's, your design is interesting, it's engaging. But if I come back to here, well, actually here, it seems like if it took you that long, that maybe you focus on the next module, essential, critical, passionate, considering cutting this and weaving it through the other modules instead. Um, yeah, I mean, if you can do that, that would be fine. Um, and makes a lot of sense by incorporating bringing those two together for sure. And then I think this will be a little shorter, perhaps. Um, and I'm wondering if it makes sense to have this one as a third module, to be honest. Because you sort of think, here are the foundations, all right? And then here's it as a partner. And okay, you can have it as a partner, but you need to be aware of ethical and equitable use. So think of it this way, if I were doing, and it's fine if you keep it this way, but if I were teaching you how to play, I don't know. So let's say we're teaching how to play football, okay, as in American football or Canadian football, not soccer, and or it could be soccer, whatever. And so I give you the foundations of the game, how it works. All right, so you understand the game. You're sitting there, okay, ready to go. Let's play. And you go, no, no, no. Okay, now we want to teach you about all the challenges you could have here and the problems and how to avoid those problems, and you could fall and you could get hurt, and this is the right equipment, and this is so it's almost setting, it's like over regulating. I mean, it's a little hard even to, well, it's good to have the foundations to understand it, but then you go into you're getting deep into the equitable use when they don't even know how to use it yet. And so it almost better, I think, to put it as as a pedagogical partner, and then that naturally you can incorporate that into teaching practice. Although I do like the module being separate, but I think as a partner, there you go. That's And if it's the whole point of why you wanted to do this, then focus on module 3 and then give lots of examples about how you could use it as a pedagogical partner in teaching practice. So if that makes sense and it helps, I think that's probably the way I would go. So you got ethical concerns, privacy data, critical evaluation of AI outputs. Um, you might add here sort of uh, prompting to get resources, right? So if you're doing critical evaluation, in order to do that, may be part of it. In your prompt, you have to ask it for citations for the actual resources, because therefore, otherwise, it's very hard to evaluate the AI outputs. You can look for other sources on Google, whatever, but and yeah, so those would be fine for that module. Uh, Again, it's kind of the thing I would put last because you sort of you, you sort of say, here's AI and you can use it, but I'm going to warn you, you know, by the time you see the ethical concerns and the bias and the privacy and data protection, it's like, oh, forget it, I'm not using it. Anyway, so that's my thinking.